Om Purnamadaഃ Purnamidam Purnāt Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpadam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavadvyaptadehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. So, as we have already mentioned, from mantra 4 to 8, the meaning of the first mantra, Ishavasya Idam Sarvam, that is being elaborated. So, yesterday we saw that we shall repeat 6th mantra. From mantra 6 and 7 is giving the result of the knowledge. One who is, what happens to the one who has gained this knowledge? He is called a Jivan Mukta. And what is his vision? What is his drishti? That is being explained, described. So let us read verse number 6, mantra number 6. Yastu sarvani bhutani Atmanyevanupashyati Sarvabhuteshu Chatmanam Tato na vijugupsate. We have already done this, but what it means is Yastu means Yah, one for whom Sarvani Bhutani Atmani Eva Anupashyati, one who sees all the beings in himself. Sarvani Bhutani Atmani Eva Pashyati, one who sees everybody, all the beings in himself. And Sarva Bhuteshu Cha Atmanam, in all the beings, Sarva Bhuteshu, in all the beings he sees himself. So in short, he sees nothing but himself. There is nothing but just one, not Ishvara also, but he sees himself now. Nothing but himself. What happens to him? Or what is the result of this knowledge? Tataha na vijugupsate. As a result of this vision, as a result of this perception, tasmad eva darshanat, due to this kind of seeing, due to this kind of perception, he doesn't hate anyone. Now see, this is not the perception of the eyes. In eyes he will not see himself everywhere. Not that kind of perception. But this is the perception of the mind. This is the perception which has come about as a result of knowledge. Now, in spite of disparity, in spite of variety, different names and forms that he sees one. Just as this bangle, having come to know that in reality it is gold. When this bangle can have two kinds of perceptions. Either it confines itself to thinking that knowing that I am bangle. Then it is not the chain, not the earrings, not any of those ornaments. But once it is clear to the bangle that it in reality is nothing but gold, then even though it sees many ornaments, when they go to the jeweler's shop, there are so many ornaments. But what will be the perception of the bangle? Oh my God, how beautiful I am here. How beautiful here. This is what actually happened, When once Pujya Swamiji was invited for Bhiksha to a jeweler, by a jeweler he was invited. Then Bhiksha was over. Bhiksha means lunch. That was over, and now the host, who is the owner of the jeweler, that jewelry shop, he said, as Guru Dakshina, he said, you Swamiji, just pick up anything from this big shop. Pick up anything. I'm so honored to have you that I want to give you something. Then Swamiji quietly, what did he say? I take gold. I choose gold. The owner didn't quite understand. So he gave him one golden wristwatch, because that may be useful to him. Golden wristwatch he gave. Swamiji said, no, my dear, I want gold. I want gold. He repeated. And the fellow said, Swamiji has become greedy now. So he started giving other things, that chain, gold, a wristwatch with a chain, which you can hang here. Then, no, gold, I want gold, which means I take the entire shop is mine. In short, gold doesn't exclude any ornament. One ornament may exclude other ornament if it confines itself to the perception that I am just chain. If the boundary is thus the chain, then other ornaments get excluded. But when you say gold, say this is the vision. When this happens, I am everything. Then tataha tasmadeva darshana, due to this knowledge, na vijugupsate, vijugupsa grunam na karoti. Now there is no hatred. How can there be hatred for oneself? When you see yourself everywhere, there cannot be love, unspoken love. There is absolutely no room for any hatred. Even though in your own self, some organs may be beautiful, some may be more useful. Sometimes our right hand works little less than the left hand. But because of that, we don't hate the other one. We protect the other one. There may be, there are certain things here which are impure. But that doesn't mean we don't love that organ. Everything is equally loved. Everything is equally valued. Similarly, sarvam hi gruna atmanaha anyat dushtam pashyati. When will the hatred come? When will the hatred arise? Here Bhashyakara says, sarva hi gruna. All the hatred arises when? When atmanaha anyat dushtam pashyat. When you see something different from you, plus that something is not conducive to you, that something goes against you, and something which you just don't like. Only then and then gruna, only then and then this kind of hatred is possible, not otherwise. So we have to grow to this. Looks very simple. This looks very simple, but we have to grow to this vision. For the people whom we like, this is not difficult. Not having hatred is not difficult. But where we have some biases, where people are different from us, having different opinions, they are adversary to us. More than that, they may be even adversary to us. But even then, you won't budge from this. This won't go. Only when it has sunk very well that there is nothing but me. On the surface, there may be difference of opinion. The person may not like you because he doesn't have the benefit of this knowledge, but you have it. So for you to accept, to accommodate others in spite of your differences with them becomes easy. Why? Because of this knowledge. So, na bhavati atmanaha eva atyantam vishuddham nirantaram pashyatah. Because he says Atma is always one and always pure. However the name may be, however the form may be. But it is beautiful. Na gruna nimittam arthantaram asti. There is no room for gruna. Another meaning that is given not here, but another meaning of gruna is that having this knowledge, the person doesn't see the need to protect himself. Why? Now what protection? From myself, there is no fear. When I see myself, there is no fear. Even when I see my own people, then also no fear. Then what is the question of there being no fear from your own self? So then there remains no need to protect. That is one meaning of gruna, vijigupsa, that there is no reason to hate anyone, there is no hatred for anyone. And the other meaning is you see no reason to now protect yourself. You are already protected in this vision. There is no fear at all. That is why one of the values which Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita gives in 16th chapter. 16th chapter, describes demoniac qualities. But in the early verses, in the few verses, first 3 verses, Bhagwan there describes divine values. And the first one, the very first value is what? Abhayam. Abhayam. Where can there be abhayam? When there is none other than you. When you are sure of yourself. And you know that what is nothing but Atma. And that Atma is full. There is no decay, no depletion, nothing lacking. When this knowledge is firm, when you are firmly, not shaky, but firmly established in this, then Bhagavan says, while describing Sthita Prajna, Vita Raga Bhaya Krodha Sthita Dihi Munihi Uchyate. This is Muni. Who is the Muni? Who has absolutely no raga, no dvesha, no bhaya, no krodha. All of them have disappeared in the wake of this knowledge of oneness. In one there cannot be fear, even though that one may be different in names and forms. So apparently there is variety. Apparently there are different names and forms. But in and through, all of them there is just one. This is what we have to understand. Now further, again Mantra-7 also talks about the similar thing. Imam eva artham anyopi mantraha. The same meaning is conveyed by the next mantra, that is 7th one. But again, remember, this won't be called repetition. Otherwise, as I said yesterday, repetition is a defect. Tautology, as they say, is a defect. But not here. Why? Because it is important. Bhagavan also says, this truth is not that common. This truth is something which we have come to know recently. And it's not that easy to understand, much less to imbibe, much less to abide in it. And that is why it needs to be constantly remembered, hammered. And that is why it is said that Bhagavan says, Abhyasena tu kaunteya. Keep on doing abhyas of the same thing again and again, again and again. So here it is said, Vastutaha duradigamanatvasya punah punar vachanam bhushanam. When the subject matter is subtle, not easily understood, then to repeat it, to keep on expounding it again and again is not a defect, but it is bhushanam. It is in fact necessary. It is in fact indispensable. So that having said, now the mantra says, let us read that. Yasmin sarvani bhutani Atmaiva bhut vijanatah Tatra ko moha kashokah Ekatvam anupashyatah Very beautiful mantra. Here also the result of knowledge. And as I said, this is description of one who abides in this knowledge, which means he is Jivan Mukta. He is free while living. He is free even though his life, there is another mukti also, Videha Mukti, that you gain after the fall of the body. Which means once you have the knowledge, then when according to prarabdha, with prarabdha when you die, when the fall, not Atma won't die. The body will fall off with the end of the prarabdha. But then now you won't be born again. Why? Because you are full. No desires are left. No karmas are there on your account. Because all the karmas are burned in the fire of knowledge. So that is called Videha Mukti. Means no further birth. But before Videha Mukti, what should we have? Jivan Mukti. Jivan Mukti means when you are living, you must have this knowledge. Then after having this knowledge gradually comes. Then after that you may live for some years or many years. But while living that life, you will be free. You will be free of any kind of grief or delusion. That is what is described. The one person who has gained this kind of mukti. See, the mantra says, Yasmin sarvani bhutani atmaiva abud vijanatah. For vijanatah. Vijanata, it has come from vijanat. And sixth case of that, vijanatah. For the one who knows. For the one who has gained this knowledge of the self. When Yasmin means at the time at which he means during this lifetime when he gained this knowledge, and the person, or the meaning of Yasmin is, it's seventh case, it means the time when he gained this knowledge, or the person in whom this knowledge has arisen. What is the result? What is the knowledge? The nature of knowledge? Sarvani bhutani atmaiva bhut. For him, all the beings have become what? Atma. All is now converted into Atma. So far there were many. He, she, it, this, that. All this pronouns you were using. So many. African, American, this, that. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. So many. Intelligent, not intelligent, dull. So many different designations and branding we do. Now all of them is converted into what? Atma, Atma, Atma. For whom can this happen? Vijanatah. One who knows. One who knows this, that there is nothing but me. So Chandogya Upanishad also says very beautifully that he now yatra nanyat pashyati. He doesn't see another. You see, but you see yourself. Yatra nanyat pashyati, nanyat shrunoti. He doesn't hear anyone. He doesn't listen to any other. He listens to himself. Why? Because Atma eva adastat. Atma is above, Atma is below, Atma on right, Atma on left, Atma in east, west, everywhere. There is nothing but just one self. When this happens, because of what? Paramartha vastu vijanatah. When you know the reality, when you know the Paramarthik Satya. Paramarthik Satya means that which is absolutely true. And what is that truth? There is just one. Asti, Bhati, Priyam is the common denominator, is the fundamental reality in every being. And now the knowledge is so firm that you need not wait and think. Spontaneous. Moment you confront others, moment something goes wrong also in that vyavhara, you are not disturbed. No other impulses now arise. Otherwise, when you are talking to someone and that fellow is little difficult, not according to what I expected, your tone rises. It rises. And some words come out, some behavior also becomes very tricky after a certain time. No such thing happens. Why? He remains calm. and cool. He may also do whatever is necessary, but inside, his mindset is what? It is myself. It is myself. Sometimes Vyavahara may expect you to what shall we say? To do whatever is necessary. To have your say. You have to be firm sometimes. But even while you are doing that, you have nothing but acceptance of the other person. That acceptance never goes. Why? Because you are seeing yourself. See, this we have to do. This we have to do in every transaction, in every behavior, every time we confront others, every time we are talking to others, every time we are transacting in the world, this should go on. Just as Swamiji was saying last night, that this lady in the village, when she goes to fill up the water from the well, then she fills up one pot, over that another pot, over that third pot, and her another pot may be here, or the child may be here, and then she goes and when she comes across her friend, she talks to that friend also, but all the while one corner of the mind, where is it? In balancing this. That doesn't go otherwise, in laughing and smiling and talking. If this falls, then gone. So she keeps on balance. Similarly, this should become so strong, so firm. You should be so very well established. This is where the hard work is required. This is where nididhyasanam is required. This is where the study is required. Studying and implementing, application. Because otherwise, people feel, and even it is true that we learn everything, all the Upanishads, everything, but this doesn't come in life. This doesn't reflect in life. Somewhere we are going wrong. In that case, somewhere we are going wrong. Something is amiss. Maybe we like to study. We love to study because the subject being what it is. You like to study. But when it comes to applying, application requires change in myself. Application of this knowledge requires that I de-identify with this just one body and expand myself to others. So this is something where hard work is required. To understand this is not that difficult. For those who are intelligent people, this is not that difficult. But when it comes to application, because application requires that I work with myself. Simultaneously, these two processes have to go on. I understand this, and at the same time do whatever addition, subtraction is necessary in my understanding. I keep on doing that. So what is going on now here, apavada is going on. Knowledge, see, Bhagavan teaches, the method of teaching is adhyaropa apavada. We shall see here in the coming mantras also. What Upanishad is doing is that adhyaropa is already done. I have already identified with the body. Now Upanishad slowly, what does it do? Apavada. Apavada means negation. Negation of all the existent notions. So this is the way that Upanishad teaches. By the method of apavada. Apavada means negation. You are not just this body. Like Lord Krishna says, yena, when yena bhutani asheshena. Oh Arjuna, when you will come to know this, then what will happen? You will see all the beings in myself or in yourself. In Bhagavan means Ishvara, or you will see everyone in yourself or in myself. This is the result of the knowledge. But only when we don't have to think. We have to keep on making this firm and firm and firm. So as a result of this knowledge, what happens? He says, Tasmin Kale, means when this knowledge dawns, it keeps on becoming firm. Then Tasmin Kale, Tatra Atmani, then for this person, Ko mohaha kashokaha. What delusion now? And what grief now? All of them have disappeared. As if in the wake of this knowledge, now there is no grief, no delusion. Lord Krishna had to tell Arjuna, when Arjuna wanted to withdraw from the battle, and he said, I'm not Nayotsye, I'm not going to fight Govinda, I'm not going to fight. Why? Because having come to the battlefield, before coming to the battlefield, he was all enthused. He was all enthused to fight. But having come to the battlefield and seeing his own people right before him, the situation, struck upon as to what it means. These are all my people, it is my family. His position was unenviable. Because this is the war within the family. Everyone, whether he looks this side or this side, the army that is there standing in front of him, plus this side, there is none but his own family. Maternal uncle and paternal. So everything is the entire one family only. And then he was deluded. That gave rise to delusion in him. What? I and mine. I am one. Who am I? I am Arjuna. And they are mine. Bhagavan said, how come this happened? In battlefield, there is just enemies. And enemies means those who are going against the dharma. And you have to protect. But Arjuna, because of the delusion, what moha does, moha does not enable us to see things as they are. That is moha. Moha means you cannot see things as they are. You will color them. And your understanding will be clouded. And you will see what is not there. That is what happened to Arjuna. And he started crying. In fact, he was in depression. He was in depression. Then what did Bhagavan, instead of sympathizing with him, what did Bhagavana say? Ashocyan anvashochasva. Oh Arjuna, you are grieving for something which doesn't deserve any grief. Your grief is totally illegitimate. Your grief, he is not sympathizing with Arjuna at all. And he says, you are using big words. Prajna vadamscha bhasase. You speak big language, big talks, big words, but you don't know anything. You talk like a pandita, but you are not a pandita at all. Because you are grieving. A pandita, a scholar, or one who knows never grieves. Why? There are situations in life, but which makes me lament. Bhagavan says, no. Absolutely, grief or sorrow is illegitimate. Why? Why? Because Atma is never dying. Is never born to begin with. Not going through all the changes. And here you are saying, they will be dying, I will be the killer of all of these people. Through and through, Arjuna exhibited. It's bound to be. He is ignorant. He showed ignorance only. And grief is the natural consequence of ignorance. Sorrow is nothing but consequence of ignorance. But having known this, ko moha kashokaha, where is the place for delusion? Where is the place for grief? We never see Lord Krishna grieving. We have never, of course, you may argue that he was Bhagavana, so why should he grieve? But he always came as a common one of us. But you never see him grieving. In spite of the situations, his life was not bed of roses. Lord Krishna's life was not bed of roses. He was born in prison, then adopted, brought up by foster parents, and things like that. One by one, asuras are coming. Demons are coming to kill him. Right from his childhood, he is struggling, sort of, fighting with everyone. There was a time when he had to run away without even chappals. Why? Because Jarasandha, he was after him. and the situation was so risky and so dangerous that he ran away from that. He and his Balaram, both of them. He right before him, he saw his entire family getting destroyed. The entire Yadava clan got destroyed right before him. But still we never see Krishna sitting and crying. Always in command of himself. Always had upper hand over the situation. And always playing flute, which means his love was always available. In short, in wise men, knowledge means no grief, no delusion. Here the Upanishad is asking, having come to know this, when you see yourself everywhere, when you see that everything has nothing but Atma, where is the place for grief and sorrow? Is asking us, Tatra ko moha, kas shoka, where is the shoka and where is the moha? Which means it is not possible. That for knowledge, understand, for knowledge and grief to be together is not possible. For knowledge of the self and grief and delusion to stand together, not possible. So, this is what is taught by, and this is when Upanishad Yasmin Sarvani, again Yasmin Kale Yathokta Atmani. This person, Yasmin also means that for this person, who is this person? Rarest of rare. It's not every day or everywhere that you find such a person. To be able to abide in such knowledge is very rare. Bhagavan says in Bhagavad Gita, when do you find such wise men? Bahunam janmanam ante Jnanavan mam prapadyate. Bhagavan says, after many births, which means this knowledge is the result of tremendous hard work, of many lives. In each and every life, aneka janma samsiddha. In each and every life, you collect the samskaras, the samskara of this knowledge. Because the samskara of ignorance are also there, of past many lives. The samskara of ignorance, that is avidya, of taking myself to be different from you, taking myself to be limited, taking myself to be incomplete, taking this duality to be real, has been there since how long? How long? Many births. So, unless and until a person is very committed and is wedded to this only, then it is possible that he may come to know in this life. Otherwise, this person also is collecting the samskaras, is building upon these samskaras since past many lives. And then Bahunam janmanam ante jnanavan mam prapadyate. Bhagavan says to have this kind of man of knowledge. Who has what knowledge? Vasudeva sarvamiti. Sa mahatma sa durlabha. Bhagavan says for one for whom this knowledge is there, that everything is nothing but Vasudeva. Everything is, Vasudeva means Ishwar. For one who has this knowledge that everything is nothing but Vasudeva, such a person is Mahatma. Such a person is Durlabha. Durlabha means not easily found. Not easily found. Bhagavan there, Bhashikara there writes that I am easily available. But such a Mahatma is not easily available. Bhagavan is everywhere. Provided you know. And who knows? Very few. You can count them. You can just count them with the tip of your finger. Very few. So, Manushyanam Sahasreshu. Among thousands, some can have this. And one who has this is the rarest of the rare. That is being conveyed by this Yasmin. Yasmin, one for whom. And at a time when he comes to know this, then the work is over. The mission of life the purpose for which you get this human birth is accomplished. See, the precise or the express purpose of life is this, to know this. And when this happens, then yajgnatva, nothing remains. Yajgnatva, having known this, nothing remains to be known. So, in this manner, the result of this knowledge is given. Now again, in mantra number 8, as I said, apavada. Apavada means negation. Negation of what? Adhyaropa. Adhyaropa, understand, is already done. See, one of the methods of expounding the self is, it is said, Adhyaropa apavadabhyam nishprapancham prapanchate. The method of teaching about the self, method of unfolding the self is Adhyaropa apavad. This was the sampradaya. This is what the acharyas have prescribed. See, Atma, to talk about Atma is not everybody's cup of tea. Bhashyakara in Mundaka says that you must learn about this self or Brahma Vidya not on your own. Even though you may be very well versed with grammar, very well versed in doing anvaya and all, doing separating the words and sandhis and everything, which means you may be expert. You may be expert in grammar and things like that, in language. Yet, Bhashyakara says, Shastragnopi swatantrena brahmanveshanam na kuryat. He says very clearly that even then, do not read the Upanishads like a novel. Do not try to understand them on your own. You require someone who is well versed in the methodology of teaching. Not only is he or she well versed in the knowledge itself, but possesses the method of a method which has been prescribed by sampradaya. Here the sampradaya comes. Means each guru has his guru, and they all follow a certain method which has been prescribed. Because Atma being what it is nirguna, without attributes, nirakara, no form, no shape. Mind doesn't reach there. Yato vacho nivartante. Mind doesn't reach there. Speech cannot speak about it. And then also, the only tool which you have is the speech. Even though speech and mind do not reach to Atma, how will the Acharya communicate? How do they communicate with speech only? But now the speech has to be used in such a way that it can give you that it can enable you to recognize yourself. Atma, thank God, is already there. But above that, I have superimposed many notions born as a result of identification. Identification with body, mind, sense complex. Just as this crystal is there and this way, then there is this color. Now if you do not know what crystal is, that it is opaque, that it is transparent. If you don't know this, you will take, do you see this purple? You will take it to be purple. Then you may take it to be black, then brown and things like that. Depends on which color is there behind it, the crystal will appear of that color. So, in the same way, today not knowing who I really am, I take myself to be this body. Here there are two. In fact, there are two which I have taken as one. Here there are two. Who are they? Which are they? One is Prakriti, another is Purusha, which means Atma is Purusha and Prakriti means Anatma. Body, mind, sense complex is Prakriti, Anatma, non-I. And that Atma is there. Atma you don't see, but it constantly is there. I. We do not know this. And what do? We mix them together. Atma, Anatma are mixed. And from them is born this I, ego. Ego is what? Nothing but the result of the mixture of Atma and Anatma. I is I, Atma. But when I identify with this body, Atma looks upon the body as I, the mind as I. Sometimes body is taken as I, sometimes mind, sometimes pranas, sometimes intellect. And then I have an idea about myself. I am so and so. In that so and so, who all are there? Who all are there? The entire complex. Understood? So, this is adhyaropa. This is called superimposing, which is already done. Due to ignorance, it has already happened. So now what needs to be done, a well-versed teacher, an expert teacher, and Shruti itself has the method of teaching. And what is that? Neti. Neti not of the yoga, but Neti of Vedanta. What is Neti? Na iti. Na iti. Na iti means Atma is not this, not this, not this. It says, Ne Athato Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Brihadaranyaka very well says that there is no Upadesha which is exalted than the method of Neti. See, it is said. अथात आदेशः नेति नेति नहि एतस्माद् इति नेति अन्यत् परम् अस्ति. Other than this method of neti, which means not this, Atma is not this, body not, prana not. Other than this, there is no exalted Upadesha. And that is what Shruti employs. Shruti always does this. You will find verses like Ashabdam, Asparsham, Arupam, means Shabda is not Atma, Rupa is not Atma. But tell what is Atma. You all the time keep on saying it is not this, not this, not this. Tell us what it is. When you remove all this, remove what Atma is not, then what will be left is Atma. When you remove everything, that is what Bhashyakara does in Nirvana Shatkam. You remember? Nirvana Shatkam, Mano, Buddhi, Ahanka. In each of the verses, in each of the 6 verses, first 3 lines are devoted to Neti. Mano, Buddhi, Ahankara, Chittani Naha, Name Raga, Name Dvesha, Na Dharma, Na Adhar. All this it keeps on doing. And in the last line, everywhere affirms Chidananda Rupaha, Shivoham, Shivoham. This need not be shown. Moment you remove this, what remains is Atma. So today, Atma is as it were covered by all the notions. So what Shruti does helps us in negating them. And that is what is done in mantra number 8. In the first 2 lines, this mantra does apavada. And from the second word of the second line shows that Atma is everything. So that is what is done in mantra 8. Let us read that. Saparyagat shukramakayam avranam asnaviram shuddham apapaviddham Kavir Manishif Paribhu Swayambhu Yatha Tatyato Arthan Vyadadat Shashvatibhyah Samabhyah. It is in the prose form, so we cannot sing. See, it says, as I said, just make a note. in the first, in the entire first line and the first word of the second line, apavada is being done. Means negation is being done. How? See, it says, Saha Paryagat. Who is this Saha? Saha means who is already talked about. Ishvara of the first mantra. That Atma is what? Ishvara is what? Saha Paryagat. Paryagat means it reached everywhere, which means it is all pervasive. Saha Paryagat. Atma is everywhere. Paryagat. Parisamantat agat. Gatavan akashavat. Just as Akasha reaches, doesn't reach, it is already there. Wherever I go, it looks as if Akasha is reached before me. Space has as it were reached before me. But no, it is already pervading. So similarly, everywhere, what is it? Nothing but Asti, Bhati, Priyam or Ishvara. Then Paryagat, then Shukram. Shukram means Shuddham. What is Atma? Shuddham. Jyotishmat. We are already learning what? Swayam Jyoti Prakranam, Swayam Jyoti Brahmana in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, where it is, you all know very well, it is shown that Atma is Swayam Jyoti. It is the Jyoti because of which the entire creation is illumined. Not only the creation, this macrocosm as well as microcosm, this individual as well as the creation, which is the one light which is illumining Atma. And who is illumining the Atma? Swayam Jyoti. Otherwise someone else illumines, then that one is illumined by others. This will lead to infinite regression. So Swayam Jyoti. It is shown very beautifully in Brihadaranya that in the waking, yes, you think that sun is illuminating. In the absence of sun, moon. In the absence of moon, stars. Then fire. Then speech. Up to this, Yajnavalkya ji said, okay, but then when all of these are not available, when are they not available? In dream. But in dream also somebody illumines. It creates its own sun, moon and everything. The dreamer in the dream may think that the one who is illumining the dream world is the sun of the dream. But there also the man of knowledge will know what? That the real light is nothing but the light of the self. So it is Shuddham. It is already pure. And Jyotishmat. This is the only consciousness is self-effulgent. Rest are all illumined. Only consciousness is self-illuminating. Shuddham. Then Saparyagat Shukram. Then what is it said? Akayam. Akayam means ashariraha. See, there are sharira, bodies, where there is one gross body, stula sharira. Then there is another body, which is that sukshma sharira, means subtle body. Within the gross body is the subtle body. Then the cause of both these bodies is which? Causal body. Causal body means ajnanam. Causal body, there is no body. Gross body is a body. Subtle body also sukshma but body, which has what? It has pranaha, sense organs, mind, intellect, ego. All of this is there in the subtle body, made up of 17 elements. But causal body has no body. It is in the form of ignorance. It is because I am ignorant that there are desires. Because there are desires, there are actions born of desires, and all of this leads to the formation of subtle body. Understood? And the expression of the subtle body, a counter is given, and that is gross body. So first is what? Causal body. Causal body means ajnanam. That gave rise to desires, karma. And that gave rise to subtle body. And that gave rise to gross body for the expression of the karmas. So that is how three bodies are there. But they do not belong to Atma. All this is product of ignorance. That is why it is a akayam, asharirah, linga sharira varjitah. Here Bhashyakara has given the meaning that it is bereft of subtle body. Why? There is a reason. Because next two words are describing Atma being without cross body. So here the meaning is given that it is it doesn't have subtle body. Next word, see. Avranam. Avranam means what? Akshata. It is not wounded. There are absolutely no wounds or any injury in Atma. We may have many injuries, wounds and things like that. There may be something here, something, and emotional wounds are many. All this is there. But Atma, Avranam, what is it doing? Can you tell me? Which method is going on? Apavada. Apavada is going on. Why? Otherwise, where is the need to say all this? Because I think that there is this wound in me. Sometimes one finger may not be there. Sometimes one finger in the foot also may not be there. So many different deformities are there in the body. Is Atma like that? But I take myself to be like that. If my eyes do not see well, I have a complex. We have complex. If we are short, again complex. Too tall, again complex. People give us names also. Shorty. And tall like a tree. Things like that. And we feel very bad. In school we feel well. Now we may not. But when we were children, we feel very bad. When people laugh at us, tease us. All this creates complexes. So I take myself to be of the size, of the measure of the body, etc. So what is Upanishad doing? Apavada, negating. That is why the need to say Avranam. This is the way to teach. Akshatam, then Asnaviram. Asnaviram means Navaha, Shiraha, Yasmin na vidyante, iti Asnaviram, which means there are no muscles. Where are the muscles in the gross body? No nerves, no bones, nothing. All of them are there in the body. And this body is required. Moment we wake up, our toolbox is out. Moment we wake up, our toolbox has so many things. All the organs, sense organs, mind, everything we start working. But they are tools. Just as a carpenter, when he comes, he brings his toolbox and starts working. And when he leaves, he puts them all inside, in his box. Similarly, these are all instruments. What are the instruments? This entire gross body plus subtle body is an instrument. Instrument given to us. They do not form the intrinsic nature of Atma, remember. After a certain age, muscles don't work. Things don't work, Then we feel now gone. Now I am dependent. Osteoporosis, this porosis, that, so many things are there. All this gives me pain. Here it is said, all of this is in the body, not in me. Asnavira, no muscles, no bones, nothing is there in the Atma. So Apavada is going on. Then, which is the word Asnaviram, then Shuddham. Now affirmation. Shuddham. Shuddham means Nirmalam Avidya Malarahitam. Do not think that avidya is there in me. Last evening Swamiji said that avidya means ignorance is also not intrinsic part of self. Otherwise, once upon a time I was ignorant. We have to say this. Which means it was there, belonging to me. We do not allow any such notions to be here. Ignorance is not intrinsic. It is superimposed. Just as rope has no trace of snake. Does it have? Little bit of poison. Is there in this rope? No, not at all. The entire snake is superimposed. Adhyaropa. So similarly here, Bhashyakara makes it a point to explain that There nirmalam avidya malarahitam. There is no ignorance. Ignorance with its two powers. Which are the two powers of ignorance? Avarana and vikshepa. Avarana means it covers, and vikshepa, having covered, gives rise to another problems. Like in the dark, the rope is covered, which means I do not see the rope properly. That is called avarana. Darkness is covered. But it doesn't stop there. Not only darkness covered the rope, but gave rise to snake or any other. So Ajnanam creates also, does two things. Avarana means covering, and Vikshepa means creating, projecting. None of this is in Atma. The point here is this, that it is free from both of this. Then apapa viddam. Atma is dharma dharmadi papa varjitam. Here Shruti has used only one word, apapa viddam. Not in any way attacked or wounded by papa. Papa means sin. But we should understand even punya also. Not only papa, sin is not there in me, but then virtue is there. No, not even virtue, not even sin. None of this. All this is there in the jiva. All this is there because of ignorance. That I am a very meritorious person is also adhyaropa. I am a sinner is also a adhyaropa. Atma is beyond. Don't call you, I go to all the places of pilgrimage. I fast and do all this. That means I am very, very virtuous person. That is also adhyaropa. Atma has no papa, punya, anything. Then, apapa viddam, I'll have to finish this mantra. Be patient. Then, shuddham apapa viddam. I'm taking this privilege. Papa kavihi. Now see, having done this much apavada in the first line, now in the second line, what is being done? In the first line, what is shown is that Atma is transcending the body, transcending the mind and the entire complex. In the second line, it is what is pointed out is that Atma is everything, immanent. Atma is immanent, means all pervasive as well as transcendental. So in the second line onwards, what is being shown is that Atma is everything. The first word is kavihi. Kavi means poet. Poet, Atma is not a poet, but Krantadarshi, Sarvadri. Poets, see much more than what we see. We may see a simple flower, but Wordsworth, we see so much beauty in that. Wordsworth was the poet he was loved in nature. So, generally speaking, poets see much more. They have that capacity than what we can see. So, Bhagavan is Sarvadruk. Atma is Sarvadruk. Sarvadruk means omniscient. He knows everything. He sees everything. So, Kavihi. Then, Manishi. Manishi means he is the ruler of the mind. Mind is functioning because of the self. So, Manishi. And the other meaning is Sarvagnya, Ishvara. Again, he is omniscient. Then, Paribhuhu. Paribhu. These are all the words of the mantra itself. Paribhuhu. Sarvesham paryupari bhavati, which means what? It is all pervasive and above everything. That is paribhuhu. Then familiar word swayambhuhu. You know swayambhu. Swayambhu linga, which means nobody has created that. It has come on its own. So it is uncaused cause. You create is one thing, but nobody has created Atma. Uncaused cause. There is cause for everything. But for Bhagavan, there is no cause. You can trace everything to this effect-cause relationship. For the seed, the cause is what? Another seed. For sprout, seed. For seed, another sprout. That way the line goes on. But it has to end, supposing Bhagavan also has a cause. Super Bhagavan. Supra Bhagavan. Like that you keep on going. You will not arrive at the first one. That is why Bhagavan has to be what? Swayambhu. End of it. I am the one. Nobody has caused me. So Swayambhu. Then comes the last word. Swayambhu Yatha Tatyatah. This I will explain in just one line. Yatha Tatyatah Arthan Vyadada. This Bhagavan. Then what did Bhagavan do? He allotted the duties to different devatas. Yatha Tatya means respectively. All the devatas to Shashvatibhyah Samabhyah. To means Shashvatibhyah means the devatas which are very powerful, as well as they are the principle of time, like Prajapati etc., Brahmaji etc. To all such devatas, Bhagavan, keeping their capacities in mind, they are all given their duties. Otherwise creation will not work. See, this creation is very orderly, and understand there is constant work. All the elements, each and every element is constantly working to make this creation run. A cosmic wheel is going on. Sun does its work, fire its, moon its, star it does, wind, fire, water, earth, everybody. All these are deities. All these are small devatas. But they are given the duty which they are not supposed to transgress. No, they cannot function on their whims. Today I will do little more so that tomorrow I need not do. This kind of things don't work there. Because it is said, Bhishasmad, the Bhagavan is such, out of his fear, they will just do. That is his presence. But it is explained that in the presence of Bhagavan, he means Bhagavan designated the different duties to all the office bearers. All the office bearers are given their allotted duties. This is how this verse talks about the nature of the self. In the last verse, last mantra, two things are said. One is what the self is, and how he is all pervasive also. Everything is in the self, but self is not because of anything. This is how it is explained. Now a different topic comes. From verse 9 to 14, we will not do that today, don't worry. I am just introducing. But it's very interesting set of mantras and slightly difficult to interpret the mantras. Because the kinds of words are used, we cannot in any way, without the help of the teacher, without the help of Bhashyakara or such acharyas, we cannot arrive at the, because they sound very different. So those 4 mantras from 8 to 14 will now be taken up. Which will be, to remind you, which will be elaborating upon which mantra? Second mantra. Very good. Second mantra. These 4 mantras from 4 to 8 elaborated upon the first mantra. And now this from 9th mantra onwards to 14 will elaborate upon second mantra. And it's what it has to say is very important, very interesting. But we shall do it tomorrow. Om Purnamata Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavadvyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. We have 2 more classes, tomorrow and day after. So we'll complete the syllabus. Don't worry.
We can also have more sessions.
Huh?
We can also have more sessions.
But that may be, difficult because already there are 3 classes.